Strawweight prospect Hilarie Rose, thank you so much for joining me today. How's life?
Life is good. It's a little strange, with all the COVID stuff going on, but I feel like things are slowly getting back to normal.
Well, the COVID and the pandemic, it delayed this fight from
Yeah.
July 7th to August 18th, which is a little bit over a month, right? So
Yeah.
you've probably been training for, let's say, what, four months now for this fight?
Yeah, I've been training, I found out at like the end of February, early March about the fight. So as soon as I found out about the fight, the game plan and the, camp starts, and we were training and training and training, and we weren't, 100% sure. We hadn't heard anything yet. And then, they called and they said it's going to be August 18th. So, extra time is good time. So I guess, taking advantage and having a little longer camp, and things being able to be a little bit more open in the gym and more people to come in, like I said, more time is good time.
Oh, definitely. With training, like being extended and being, uncertain, like exactly when you will fight. Was it difficult for you to kind of hold yourself back from going too hard in the gym?
Some days for sure. When you're preparing for a fight, there's times when you peak and you don't peak. So having to make those adjustments when we found out the new date was kind of just like starting to slow camp down and then peak our way back up, because like I said, we were training, anticipating to fight July 7th. And until we found out, then, we made a few changes in camp. And then now obviously we're in peak mode and winding down to weight cut and fight night.
This sport, is the toughest sport in the world. There's no doubt about that. And when you started your career, it started off with a setback, and that was probably a discouraging time in your career. You know what I mean? Because it's just the beginning. Did doubt play a lot in your mind, or how did you battle those demons?
Oddly enough, I didn't have any doubt. I think if anything, it kind of lit the fire. That I needed to make some changes and adjustments in my game, and I needed to work on a few things. And that I just kind of was able to see where I was lacking. So, I think getting the loss out of the way was almost good. I think that if I, had lost maybe later on, that it would have affected me a little more. But, obviously everyone wants to win their first pro fight. But if you look at a lot of people who are the greatest in the world, they've lost their first pro fight. And I think it lights that fire in the ass and in the head. And, you got to change your mindset in a few things in your game. I think, from going to amateur to pro, there's a huge difference. You're adding 2 minutes, people are coming to fight at a different level. So I think, of course I was a little discouraged and upset because you want to win, especially at your first fight, but it definitely had me more motivated. I wasn't afraid to get right back in the gym and get better and, absorb and learn.
After that, you knocked off 4 in a row. Impressive, 3 finishes. And like you said, a fire lit inside of you. But other than that, what was the recipe for your success?
I think just being surrounded by the right type of people and not getting caught up in the chaos of the fighting. I think if you put yourself with the right people, training partners, and, support systems, that's going to help build you and grow you as a person as well as a fighter. I think that in my gym, there's no egos. So, no one's trying really hard to be better than the other. We all really want to help each other get better. And I think that that's a huge part of my gym. You see a lot of gyms where there's like competition inside the gym, and, the egos are really running wild. And I find that my gym doesn't have that. We're very much close bonded, and, we're not a huge giant gym, but, we're very focused on breaking down details. And I think with the one-on-one work and the small groups, it kind of benefits all of us. And I think that it shows there's only a few fighters at my gym, but I think it shows when we all fight. And I think, like the egos and not having that is what kind of makes it better at the gym. And, I love that because I go to other gyms and I kind of see the egos and I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah, your last fight was around a year ago. Was it difficult for you to get fights after that? Or, what was the situation with that? Because the Contender series didn't come until a few months ago.
Yeah. So we had a few fights lined up. Contracts were sent, we signed them, and then people go missing and, things like that happen. Or, you reach out to people and managers say, yeah, we're interested. And then it doesn't happen. So I feel like I've been in camp for like a year I've been like training and training and training, which is good. Like it's definitely beneficial to me that I've been training, and I don't take time off. Like I won my last fight, and then always fought on like Fridays, and then the next day I went to team training at Lowe's on MMA. So it was like I felt like I would have been an ass sitting at home because like I didn't get hurt in the fight. So most people would probably go and like eat a bunch of food and chill out with their family, but I was like, I kind of want to get back in the gym, and that's kind of like my motivation, the gym and like the people there, whether it's me cross training at Lozon's or at my own gym, that's home to me. So being at home and being around the people who watch me train and watch me, compete, I want to be around them. So it's cool.
With that motivation and determination, did you expect to be in this position so quickly in your career?
Yes and no. I would reach out to Mick Maynard all the time, and I'd be like, hey, I'm trying to get fights. I'm doing my best to get fights. My manager and my coaches are doing what they can to get me fights. Please still consider me. Please still consider me. So I would hit him up all the time, and he's super nice. He would like reach out and like give me a thumbs up and stuff like that. And then one day I reached out to him and was like, I had a fight fall through. I'm not going to be fighting. I'm trying to stay busy, because I had reached out like a while ago and like would just send him messages, and he's like, stay busy, do what you got to do. We'll get you, eventually you'll be there. And one day I sent him a message, and he's like, I'm talking to your coach. And then it was like, an hour or so later, I got the call from my coach that we had Contender lined up. So super exciting. And I cried. It was overly emotional. But I think with women, they're able to get in the UFC with a little bit fewer fights because there isn't as many women. So I think that women in the UFC right now is kind of like blowing up, and I'm in a really good time for myself to be working my way in. And of course, experience is good. But I mean, if I'm going to take the opportunity, if it's given to me, for sure.
Yeah, experience at the highest level is the best experience, I believe.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, you speak of your coaches, US MMA. Who are the coaches that have, developed you and you could credit to, you being who you are today?
So my head coach is Tom Hafers. He's the owner of the gym. He's had my back since day one. I started training there when I was 14 years old, and my mother couldn't afford the membership. So I would work off my membership by working there. So I'd clean the gym, I'd work at the front desk, I'd make shakes for people. So I had this really strong bond with him, and, I had a few smoker shows, but then I have another coach, Matt Martin, who, from the very start saw potential in me. And even when sometimes Tom didn't see the potential, Matt always did. So I think I spent a lot of time with Matt, worked a lot of things. And, I think my coach Tom got to the point where he was like, you're ready to go. And so I had my first amateur fight and stuff. And then they've both just been along for the ride. I'm seriously grateful for that. A lot of people, switch gyms, or they think they have to be at a bigger gym or things like that. I'm just so loyal to them because they've been with me since I was a young kid. Like I grew up there and they've watched me grow up. And I think that, it's not just me who's going to be winning that night. It's going to be them winning too. Like it's going to be a huge deal for them. So, I'm so beyond grateful. They're family. It's not, I know people say that their coaches are family, but like, they're literally my family. I spend so much time with them, more time with them than my own family. So, I'm seriously forever grateful.
Yeah. Finding that balance. I guess that's what's important, right? For coaches.
For sure.
Because you can't just be with one coach. Come on. That's like, you got to have like all these different coaches to build you.
Absolutely. And like, I just added some like strength training in with a new coach, Mike Perry. And like, even just a short amount of time, he's just drastically changed, the way my body moves and how much stronger I am and like the potential that I have from like just a short period of time working with him to now. So adding in the strength training and having my other two coaches not have to run and worry about that where we can focus on grappling and striking and all those other things. Someone else has come in and kind of helping me build up the strength and the cardio. And it's really cool. It's cool as I grow. There's levels, you can get one place, but to get to the next level, you need to add people to your game. So it's definitely cool.
Yeah. Mike Perry, he's building a big roster out there in the Northeast.
Yes, he is. He's got like Calvin and Rob, Mike Rodriguez, the Peter Barrett, he fights this weekend. So lots of people. So it's cool to be in there and mix it up and see them. And, just to be a female in the sport. I'm the first female from New England to get this opportunity. So it's really cool to be able to go out there and, put on a show as a female for New England and, add to that hype train.
the opportunity is going to be against Cheyanne Buys. What do you know about her, and what are your thoughts on her skill set?
I know that she's skilled. She moves really, really well. She's not afraid to come forward, but she's also not afraid to like step back and let the other person come forward. She looks like she has a really strong double underhook and a judo throw. But she moves well. Like when me and my coaches watched her fights, we enjoyed watching her fight, Again, I've said this to other people before, like I have so much respect for the people that I fight for, or fight against. Like I don't fight with anger. I fight because I genuinely love to fight. It's who I am. It's what I love to do. And I'm expecting the best version of Cheyanne. I'm going to assume that she's training just as hard as me and she's going to show up on fight night. And the thing is, I don't know how the fight will go. But I think that we both want to perform and that we're going to make each other look good at different times of the fight. So I think it's going to be really cool. And she seems like a cool chick and that she's ready to go out there and have fun. And so am I.
With what you just said and, like looking forward to the fight, what do you think separates you from Buys?
I think that my grappling might be a little better, and that's what's going to separate us. I don't know much about her grappling. Not that I'm not confident on my feet, and I think that I could stand with her also, but I think that if it gets to the ground, again, I'm not underestimating her ability and her skill. I don't know what she's training and prepping for the fight. But I've been grappling. Grappling is my life. I'm a brown belt. And then it's MMA grappling. It's different than regular grappling, but I feel that, I probably maybe have a little bit of an advantage there. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Always. That's why you fight, right?
That's right. Anything can happen.
Exactly. That's the beauty of this sport. Now, the performance, you said that you don't know what's going to happen, but when you visualize a perfect performance in front of Dana White, what do you see?
I see a finish, of course. I can't visualize exactly what the finish will be, but what I see in comparison to her, I like to finish fights. She's had more fights that have maybe gone the distance than I have. So I think I'm always going for the finish. A fight's a fight, and if I'm going to see an opening, I'm going to try to take advantage of the opening. I think I'm good at that. I think that I'm also a coach, so I coach young kids. So I think having that outside view of a coach, I'm able to maybe see some openings that maybe she won't see. But I don't know.
In week one, it just passed. There was a performance. There was a good fight in the main event, and the winner got the decision and also got the contract. So does that kind of, put less pressure on you to finish the fight and just go out there and perform well and just win instead of taking too many risks, I guess?
Yeah, I'm definitely open to take risks, and I know that Dana wants to see finishes and he wants to see good fights. But if we put on a great performance for 3 5-minute rounds, then I think that that's also good. If Dana can see that people can perform for a full 15 minutes and it's not some lazy ass fight, that he's going to want those people. I think that the pressure of the finish isn't there. I think I can get a finish, but I also think that I could get a contract by a decision. So we'll see how it goes. I know that he wants finishes for sure. So that's the goal ultimately.
All right, one last thing before I let you go. There's many different types of competitors in this sport. There's usually the mindset of a martial artist and the mindset of a prize fighter. Where do you feel you fit in right now?
Someone has asked me this before, and I really like to think that I'm both of those things. Like, I think that you have to be a martial artist, and people don't think that like a martial artist and a fighter can be the same thing, but they are. Like, you have to be humble and willing to learn. And a lot of people are very uncoachable. So you have to be open to absorb and learn information and absorb it and be knowledgeable about it and then portray it in the fight. So I think that, that's a very, very big thing, and then it's important.
All right. Well, August 18th, Contender Series, Las Vegas. Hilarie, thank you so much for the time. Good luck in the fight. Be safe.
Thank you so much.
And have fun. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, it's all about fun. I think me and her are going to have some fun. So I think it'll be cool.